Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are getting into some more Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier action here. And we have ourselves another elimination match. If you're just now joining us, my name is Travis T. I got my Don't Sing co-caster here, Rude Dude. And Rude Dude, we got a fun one ahead of us.
We do. Third party versus AOE Ginger Turmeric. It's actually the only game of the night being played across all the channels that is not a rematch. We get a fresh set of eyes to glance on these fresh two teams playing up against one another. Of course, AOE Ginger Turmeric, a team that got acquired by AOE after a very good run in another one of the Unified RAN tournaments, the Unified Premier League. I know that you and I are very closely invested in that one as well, Travi, where they were able to go all the way to the finals and did a very good job there as well. Up against a third-party team who, throughout this entire year, have continued to scale. They have done a very good job. Last time out, first split of 2022, they played in the OQs but didn't make it through. PGCQ number 2 rolls around, they make it into the top 16, but they bottom out of their group. And this time, coming up into the first qualifier of summer, they make it through the open qualifiers, through past the top 16, now into the top 12, where they are just continuing to build up, getting more and more sort of progressively better as a team, as a unit, with the new supporters just coming in. They are looking to make it past the top 12 into the top 8 up against an AOE GTC team that certainly are looking to do the same.
Yeah, and we can actually see those rosters here in front of us as we can see these two squads spelled out. You can see that, you know, both these squads have so much talent here amongst these squads here. I do want to point out that we do have a substitute coming in from third party in the top side of the map. We do have Trafi coming in. So we are seeing a little bit of a swap around, but there are some powerful names amongst these lists.
Yeah, and to touch on Trafi again a little bit, he's a substitute, but they did play with him in their win last week. It was a 2-0, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they took last week. Very, not necessarily convincingly, but it was a very close set of games between them and AOE Randoms that they did win 2-0 on. Well, that's not on this one, but nevertheless, this is the other, this is the other side of the bracket. Ba-boom! There we go. Look at that. You see, memory serves me well. It was third party, Team Fish Taco. Okay, well, it didn't serve me well. Never mind. Yeah. But either way, they got the 2-0 and they looked very good doing it. And Traffy played for them then. He has a couple of niche picks that I got told about. I was speaking to Taki, the 3P person of contact for us, and he mentioned that the Rengar on this team is going to be fairly lethal because it's a flex pick between both Munchie and Traffy in the top lane. Also plays Zac top. That didn't get banned away from them last time, but there's a lot that Traffy brings to the table. Last time out for 3P, when he played with them, he didn't necessarily have the standout performance, but he did his job admirably in the top lane and allowed the real dynamic duo of Munchie and Just to take them to a win.
I do also have questions about third party and the fact of, like, how strong are they, right? Like, in the first round, they got knocked down into the lower bracket by Jake's Kittens, which is a team that is full of talent and is a tournament favorite. And then they turn around and they beat another tournament favorite in TFT. A lot of people were expecting this team to go a lot further inside of the group stage. So big things for this squad. And I personally, you know, I'm very impressed. While on the other side, Ginger Turmeric is such a good team. We have seen exactly what they're able to do, and they are a powerful squad that feels like they get underestimated quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a strange one, AOE GTC. They have just got so much raw talent, really, that it's kind of hard to place them. Sometimes they just have a really weird set of games that come through that lead them down to the lower bracket, but overall, even in those losses, we still got to see a lot of bright points for them. And when they win games, they look incredible, right? This is a team that, you know, can quite handily utilize multiple sets of flex picks, with Senna being in the bot lane, and that's something that they quite happily whip out on a whim as well. They play a different meta to everybody else. That comes mainly when you've got Captain Shrimps in the mid lane, right? He can pull out incredibly varied picks in the mid lane, but they've also got a really aggressive bot lane. They love to slam bot lane, try and win at any matchup that they can, and they very heavily draft down towards it. I mean, coming into this series, my sort of take on what the drafts are going to look like is I have no idea, because when you've got Captain Shrimps and when you've got Duo Selena and Deep Learning down in the bot lane, you don't know what they're going to pick. They could go for a Caitlyn Lux. They could go for a Kog'Maw Lulu. They have that depth that they're going to try and play toward. But the one thing that you know that they're going to try and do is push and play aggressive.
Yeah, they have a very well identified style. It's just the champions they use is a big mystery. But that mystery is about to get solved right now. We're going into draft. And we're going to see exactly as the riddle unfolds upon us, as we can already see Rengar banned.
Like I say, Rengar has to be taken off the board against Traffy and Munchie, two players that are very happy to play it, and quite rightly, taken out of contention. I think as well, what I want to give credit to is Just's Rakan. He single-handedly carried them one game versus TFT last week with his Rakan engagements. This is a play that you need to look out for those late-game team fights. If third party as a whole think they can take a fight, they will take it, and it largely comes off the back of just finding knockups, finding engagements. This is another game where Rakan hasn't been banned up against third party, and I imagine even though they probably won't take it too early, I think that come that second ban phase, it's something that they should snap up.
Yeah, it's definitely something because of the fact that third party likes to be explosive. They'll fight you no matter what. But Gangplank banned away. Timber, what are you going to pick up? What is the first pick that this AOE squad wants to grab?
Keel, honestly, probably the most, I don't want to say this in a negative tone by any means, but probably the person we can expect to play the meta the most on this team. So things like the Viego, like the Wukong, by no means surprise me if we see one of those start to come through. We know that Wukong on this patch, incredibly powerful. We have still got Lucian open, we've still got that Viego open as a potential answer. The Lilia as well is something that Munchie has defaulted to a couple times. We know that Traffy may be able to flex that into the top lane and is a very good answer to the Wukong in general. So it's a nice pick that we get locked in by 3P, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just take Rakan right now, or they go for something along the lines of, okay, and Ezreal, never mind, what wasn't what I was anticipating, but if they're looking up against AGT, I think that an Ezreal to mitigate any of their early game power of the bot lane certainly makes a lot of sense.
I like this too, because you're probably looking at just leaving your AD carry on an island if you are picking that Rakan, right? But there is a difficulty spike in this lane, and his name is Lucian Nami.
Yeah, there's a chance they match with Karma here just to get a bit of power back in their bot lane, but I don't like seeing Just on something that isn't tooled, geared toward engagements. Locking that Rakan like we talked about, this is just what I've seen him play. Best pick so far, and keeping him on that bandwagon is going to be exactly what I like from third party. They are going to have to try and suffer, or they're not going to try and suffer, but they are going to have to suffer in the early stages because this bot lane does not go well for them, and the way deep laning and duo Selena play, just going to try and roll over them.
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to deal with. I think we've seen Lucian Nami so many times that the tides turn very swiftly, and they're not in your favor if you are facing this matchup. So you have to figure out exactly how you weather it. I think the answer is you just say, Lunar, I believe in you. I have faith in you. I'm gone. He's going to go roam around with Munchie, and that is the way. I'm curious to see what third party locks for themselves. Sion.
They went for this a couple times, like I say, up against TFT. Just quite happy to leave Traffy a bit weak-sided, let the game not necessarily be about him. This does change the script on what we imagined the bot lane may look like, because it sort of says, well, I don't have a strong side lane to play with, because you never really want to be ganking for a Sion. You tend not to go towards your Ezreal just because of how well he does on his own. So it means that this fifth pick in the mid lane for messages is likely going to be something that gives them a lot of control and that they want to try and accelerate. Blind pick mids that are open. The Karma wasn't the one I was thinking of, but we have got things like the Victor, like the Syndra, also if we want to dip a little bit deeper for Captain Shrimps. But he does just go to that Karma. We know he's got a very diverse champion pool, trying to predict what he wants. Not necessarily the easiest thing, but the Karma gets locked in.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a champion to accelerate, Tristana is a fantastic one. This gives them so much siege potential, and if Tristana gets going in this mid lane matchup, it could be very destructive.
And we've seen this from messages before. He actually played this last week. I think he was into a Talia, which meant that he couldn't necessarily have the best of time. Actually, no, he was playing the other side of this matchup, I think. But either way, very familiar with this pick. We've seen messages pull out the Tristana, regardless whether it was last week or previously. He is very adept at this champion. It is a secondary carry for 3P, and this time round, probably going to be that primary one that they look to in the early stages of the game, just based off the fact that they've, got an Ezreal in the bot lane. It's not a champion that you particularly look to accelerate through those early stages, and also can put down its own fair share of aggressive maneuvers, which is exactly what we wanted to see from 3P. They needed a lane to try and play around, something that was going to be trying to win, trying to push forward, trying to accrue advantages, and from the mid lane of Tristana, it's exactly what they needed.
Yeah, it's exactly what they needed, and I'll be real. If we are looking for something that is to the condition of third party, I love the fact that they do have something that roams together with something that is powerful like the Lilia. You talked about it. Wukong we've seen the rise of Wukong that's given a rise to Lilia as a response because it works fairly well into a champion like Wukong. You can put out a clone, but you're still going to see your HP bar burn. You're still going to be a victim of that wilting lullaby, even if you're invisible. So I love the idea that they have picked this composition around. And I think on the other side, it's a very curious thing because Captain Shrimps, he plays all this crazy stuff. I'm like you, I wasn't expecting the last pick Karma to come out, even though you have some very good carries to enable.
I think that the main concern I have with the last pick Karma is then AGT's lack of magical damage, because they're going into the late game fights where they have two supports that deal magic damage, but they obviously aren't going to be gearing their build path towards it. We have seen, I believe, one game of full AP Nami that came through. That was, I think, on No Team, actually. Not No Team, excuse me. On Evil Genius Prodigies, in fact. Got confused because, just did. And it was the EGP bot lane that then built Sorcerer's Shoes. It was Mia that built Sorc Shoes, and Dombre went for full AP on the Nami. So it was Imperial Mandate into full AP, blah, blah, blah. The point is, AGT, they're not going to be opting into too much magic damage unless they get completely snowballed and the Karma and the Nami are given that luxury. And trying to kill a Scion isn't going to be the easiest task for them. Yes, they've got fairly good tank shred with the Camille, but if your Camille is hitting the Scion in a team fight, it means that she's not hitting the Tristana, not hitting the Ezreal, and getting to that backline that she would so desire.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if you don't do that or you don't stop the Lilia, what do you have that is going right for you in that situation? And that's rough, because if you are going for that Tristana or Ezreal, choose a carry, go for it, and watch as the rest of third party tries to wreak havoc on the rest of your team. That is a genuine concern that I do have watching as they play out here, because like you said, a lot of times when we see a mid lane Karma, it is that Moonstone, it is that Imperial Mandate on the Nami and the bot side. So keeping our eyes peeled on the build pass, but we are here inside of game number 1 in this elimination series between AOE, Ginger Turmeric, and third party.
Yeah, great point there, Travi. Once again, a reminder, if you're just joining us, this is Elimination Monday / Playoffs Monday. If you are both of these teams, if you win, you go through to the playoffs bracket. If you lose, you go home and you are not playing anymore in the Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier number 1 for summer. Looking into the game specifically, third party, like we say, coming through, sort of scaling through 2022 with AOE Ginger Turmeric, acquiring a Ginger Turmeric team that really looked good in some of the lower down amateur events that Unified put on, but looking to make their statement now in the fully fledged Riot organized amateur system.
Yeah, this is the place to do it, right? This is where you show yourself as a prospect. This is your proving ground. This is exactly what these players are looking to make a statement with. Keeping our eyes peeled on everything. That's just getting punished for the early emoji action.
Hate to see it. Your emote game needs to warm up as the poke starts to come through from Captain Shrimps. You can see already the Doran's ring starting to do a little bit of work, and Captain Shrimps very familiar with how to play that Kami. If you bounce your Qs off of the wave, you can typically find some fair amount of splash damage. Typically something you see down on that bot lane as the support role, but works just as well in the mid lane as well. Taking a quick note of where your junglers started, they both went up to that top lane, looking like they're going to be focusing some bot lane action. Whenever there's a Lucian Nami in the game, you want to see them get pathed towards. I'm glad to see Keel making sure that come a minute's time, he's going to be down in that bot lane to have that quick timer to respond. Want to quickly mention as well, Munchie's pathing has gone. Red Raptor's Gromp, the fast level 3 clear to get down to this bot lane. He's cheating that timer, that window where Keel maybe expects a Lilia full clear to go bot.
And you can see messages laying in some good damages on the trades. I also want to highlight the Keystone choice, right? Munchie has a Predator on the Lilia, where we just saw 2 games of Dark Harvest, as seeing those trades coming through very deadly yet again. But we also have double exhaust in this game from AOE.
Yeah, I mean, the dive potential of Tristana is certainly very prevalent, and the second that Tristana jumps on you, if she gets exhausted, it tends to be a one-way trip. You obviously get the reset from exploding the satchel or exploding the explosive charge, but if you can't get that fully charged up, which tends to be quite difficult through exhaust, that's when you tend to get taken down, start struggling, and have a bit of a rough time of things.
Poor Keel. He came over just in time to see the blue buff die.
It's
He also spotted out
unfortunate.
Lilia.
This is the power of Lilia, right? The amount of clear speed that you've got. Just
I
really
don't like
helps.
this too. It's a really nice change of pace too. They understand that ganking the spot lane is going to be hard to do. Lunar, oh the airy.
You need to base. Look at this potential gank. Keel on his way, just is going to block him to make sure that Luna knows. But this is going to be a wave, probably 2 missed under the turret, and not a good way.
Yeah, just has
Flash
to
as
blow
well.
Flash. Yeah, he's not level 3. He doesn't have a way to deal with it. Keel,
He's going to stop this.
Says, I'm going to thwack you. He has red buff. It will burn away. It's a third party just being a little bit disrespectful of what Wukong can do.
Yeah, Lucian Nami in the early game. We know that this is going to happen to them when this is going to happen to a bot lane. We knew going in. This draft for the bot side did not go favourably for 3P. They planned to play them largely around what we expect to be a mid lane powerhouse. But for the most part, this early game has been very well capitalised on by Deep Learning and Dursley, and they've done a very good job utilising Keel's pathing down to this bot side as well to generate themselves advantages through trades and then through missed minions. That gold lead or the CS lead, not necessarily as telling. Captain Shrimp's in trouble.
Yeah, the exhaust has to be used. The bomb blows, but it's not going to do that damage because as you were talking about, that exhaust coming in clutch. But look at this just on the flank. Captain Shrimp smells it out, is not going to get caught out by the grand entrance.
Yeah, Messages doesn't have a W up for a couple seconds, so going for that gank, not necessarily the easiest. Quick reminder that the Tristana W provides a slow, as Luna forced to Arcane Shift away. 2 auto attacks plus a W takes Luna down to half HP already. Tidecaller's Blessing certainly helping out the Lucian passive.
Yeah, he's just trying to live. He's got some omnoms. He's got the biscuits packed. He brought his lunch, but you know, Deep Learn is saying your lunch is looking kind of appetizing. Let me see if I can eat through that. As he is really putting the hurt. The refillable potions are gone for this Ezreal already, so he's gonna have to look at that resource and Keel coming in and putting some aggression into Munchie with this bot lane duo popping off.
Yep, the Nimbus Strike goes forward and takes away the Wolf Camp. The large portion of gold and experience given over to Keel, and now with this bot lane priority, Munchie not really able to get into this.
Oh, look at the burst coming in. They're looking for a possible first blood. Munchie has to flash over the wall. He cannot deal with the damage any further. And the rest of third party, they have the tools to escape a perilous situation. Messages is looking for a possible angle. There is no teleport on Captain Shrimps, but they're going to be able to resuscitate their HP bars with some fruit. No bubble to hit, and it will be just all members dispersing.
Okay, so a saving play there from Messages. He's going to go back to base TP back into mid lane so he doesn't miss out on too much. But Captain Shrimp so far has done a very good job at withering this early game from the Tristana. Up 10 CS, forces TP out as well, and now can make his way down to the bot side with the timer that he has, potentially trying to punish this 3P bot lane.
Yeah, good dodge on the bubble. Deep Learn is trying to get into range, but can't find just that. Another effort falling short, but it is doing its target, and it is making sure that third party's bot lane is miserable. Look at that CS differential already 6 minutes in.
And that's only going to grow as well. Deep Learning and Duoselina, they had done a very good job at keeping that lane in a position that was terrible for 3P. They have now just decided that with Piercing Light, we're going to push this wave and potentially look to set up for some bot side action. Be it a dragon, be it a dive, they want priority down in that bot lane.
Oh, Grand Entrance comes in. Keel is here as well. Messages trying to make a play happen, but it's Lunar who gets dropped. Deep Learn has the bomb. The Buster Shot bust. And it is a kill going over to the Tristana as we are seeing, and she's barely able. Airy isn't enough to finish off the Tristana.
But overall, still a very positive play for AOE Ginger Turmeric. Captain Shrimps has free time in the mid lane. This entire wave is going to get missed under the turret. And the top side trade, what are they getting in response? 3p. Unfortunately, the answer appears to be nothing. Munchie getting zoned out by Captain Shrimps. He just walks in, protects his jungler's topside camps, and now Keel can just go back to base and quite happily say, oh, my entire topside's still up. Why, thank you very much, Mr. Mid Laner.
It's always very nice to be able to see as we are panning around. Munchie's struggling a little bit here, and that early proudness of a Karma can be deadly, but here how's the play started.
And look at this bubble as well by Duo Selena. Keeps messages from finding that kill for so long. Yes, they're able to take down the Lucian in the end of things, but overall, the time bought was just more than enough to secure 2 kills and secure messages being effectively 1 HP. If you'd stayed for one more auto, maybe you would have found the kill, but it is single-digit HP there for messages. You can barely even see the health bar. Just manages to get away, and like we mentioned, the entire wave gets missed under the turret. You look at the minimap quickly there, Captain Shrimps already working his way through some plates and getting a bigger CS lead, bigger gold lead, bigger experience lead. It's all so far going very well for AOE down in the bot side of this map.
And that was a Smurf replay as we are getting into this dragon, his first dragon for the game. Third party looking to be the ones to start it up. Kill is nowhere around, so this is free for third party to take, and it's definitely a dragon they need since they are dealing with a little bit of a gold deficit.
Yeah, and it supplements them for the early stage. It's not going to do them a lot, but that little bit of extra regen may just prove to be enough to keep them going in their laning phase. It's not the worst dragon to get early on, and also denies that early soul win condition from AOE Ginger Turmeric. A good little respite that third party are able to get, and we'll have to wait and see if they can turn this one into a little bit more. I want to mention quickly, whilst we are recognizing that third party, they're behind, but it feels like this is their comfort zone so far from what we've seen from them. They always play well from behind. A benefit of this team is their jungle support pairing. Munchie and Just, whenever they group up, whenever they go hunting, they tend to find fights. They will always look for engagements if they think it's winning. But right now, AGT are collapsing on this bot lane at 3v4 for a dive.
Keel is looking to kill, and he is looking for it here on the dive. Gets onto Munchie, and Munchie gets dropped at the True Shot Barrage. Find its target. That is a huge kill into Deep Learning, and they can't get the kill onto Lunar. A double kill on this Ezreal, and the comfort zone is definitely shown.
Oh, an overstep from AGT right there. They go for a dive in a 4v3 that messages turns into the 4v4. Deep Learning gets caught by the True Shot Barrage, thinks that he can tank the turret, and was good to get out, but the True Shot finishes off the job. We're going to get a replay of it right here. Look at the minimap messages. Booking it from that mid lane, knows that this dive is coming, and Duo Selena starts it off. Double tidal wave, very good. Again, it's this ulti from Luna that just takes down Deep Learning. So much damage spiked at the same time, and all of a sudden they're cut off by a turret, but we're fighting again.
Lane! Lunar, you got a double kill. Let's show you getting killed out in lane. Unfortunate, unlucky, but you're still stuck in the bubble all the same.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to push that wave under the turret, and Duo Selena just being a bit of a nuisance, keeping it from out behind the lane right there. And then all of a sudden, Deep Learning just flies forward, has flash available, no expense spared, taking down that Ezreal, and all the hard work that had just been done by third party in the bot lane sort of undone by that bot lane play. Unfortunate for Luna, but great support play by Duo Selena.
Yeah, didn't back, I don't believe, off of that last play, so it was still there in the area. And look at the vision control that is coming out from this AoE squad in the bot lane. They have complete control, and this is how it played out.
Well, they were trying to push in this wave. I just expected it was Duo Selena being a nuisance, stopping them from doing it. And then they see the Nami level 6 walking up. They're like, well, I mean, can we not just kill it? And unfortunately, missing out on the bubble, the charm comes through a little late as well, and honestly, just a 1v2 that Deep Learning goes, oh, wait, quick, yeah, cheers, thanks.
We'll take that, yeah, absolutely. Breathe a little bit of life back into it. This Lucian now has a Gale Force, and he is ready to pull the trigger on any low HP targets, and this lane just became a lot more brutal whenever this Nami Lucian are in the vicinity.
Captain Shrimps is opting into the Liandry's build path as well, so our concerns about potential late game damage don't necessarily They're not as prevalent, but I think that they still do exist. Like I say, Karma's late game damage is certainly not going to be anything to write home about. Also worth noting that both Existence and Keel have opted into that Divine Sunderer, so slightly more tanky killing route for the mythic items, where they'll probably do more than enough damage to the squishies later on regardless, because they've got a Sheen item, and then the Divine Sunderer just there to supplement their taking down of Traffy.
Yeah, Traffy is a bit beefy, to say the least. The Scion can be a menace. Interesting strat here. He's
nice
an alcove
angle.
gamer.
How many people are here?
Here we go, quickening. They are able to jump onto Deep Learn. True Shot Barrage comes in. Munchie is caught out, though. Kill is going to be able to secure that kill. And Messages over here onto the side can't join the fray as Captain Truth was enough to distract him. Messages still over here onto the side. The headset ultimatum. Yoink him back in. You can't buffer that. Deep Learn secures the kill.
Oh, it's so wide.
Headset ultimatum, and the play isn't over just yet. Existence still has a full HP bar and legs that speak for days. A double kill coming in for Existence.
Wonderful stuff by AGT on the top side of the Rift. They counter the play set up by 3P. And again, a well-timed bubble. I hope that we get a replay of that because Duo Selena saves Deep Learn just so beautifully. They answer with teleport from Existence as well. And get a look at this. So Keel basically 1v1s Munchie on the bot side with Captain Shrimps there. The double bubble to set up for a beautiful set of combos from Deep Learn. It was more than enough to turn the tides of the fight right back. And then this Hextech ultimatum. Oh, hate to see it. Jumping to what you think is safety, but is ultimately nowhere actually safe as Captain Shrimps in Existence just corralling the troops, rounding them up and knocking them down.
Oh. Back over to the top side. Traffy is caught out of position here. He's going for a wild ride. He's just trying to buy some time, trying not to get the kill over to Deep Learn if he can. He's trying to regen some HP, try to be as much of a nuisance as possible. His Existence securing the kill while Rakan gets dropped. There's a fight over at the Dragon Pit.
Oh,
what is happening
disaster.
on the map? Kill is just unhinged. He's out of control. 3 kills. It is an ace across the board. It is AOE Ginger Turmeric popping off.
Yeah, we look at the top side and we're thinking, oh, okay, Traffy, you're likely to fall. Okay, there's a 4v3 down on the bot side. Surely 3P can get something from this. It turns out Raid Boss Wukong is here, everybody. Ready. Doesn't even have Cyclone for this fight, by the way. Just goes forward and with the 2 enchanters at his back, he's raining havoc down on everybody from 3P. I don't quite know who flashed in, predicted who right there, but Keel gets a flash that ends up being right on top of Messages, turns him back around between the heals, the shields, and the base damages from the supports. They find enough damage to get all 4 kills, and the gold deficit right now, Travi, 9.5 thousand gold, 15 minutes into the game. Duo Selena has more gold than the top laner and jungler a third party and is trying to challenge Messages as well. This is a brutal game state for 3P. We said this was their comfort zone being behind. I think they're being challenged a little bit on that one.
Yeah, they're almost a 10k deficit 16 minutes into the game, right? And I love the fact that you talk about Duo Selena because I really want to hype up the fact that this Nami play has been crisp. It has been fantastic. And I feel like it's been to the bane of third party. These bubbles have been picture perfect every single time.
And just look at the damage that's going to come through right now. Deep Learn.
Lunar. It's the Colin coming in, shredding the HP bar. Woo!
Two items on this Lucian now. Those boots, I want to see some Sork shoes just because I want to see more Nami damage, but it's likely not to be. With the 2 completed items, Gale Force, Essence Reaver, he is a machine this game. Can see the most gold in the game, and will probably be just tearing turrets, tearing champions apart left and right. Very much so, the AOE GGT are going to be able to snowball this early game into a point where Baron also very likely to be theirs, 4 minutes away. But we're just waiting for that matter of time. They've got 3 minutes now of, okay, we're so far ahead, what do we do while Baron's not up? And once they make that choice, I imagine it's just going to be take down these side lane turrets. They've got power literally everywhere on the map, Travi. The Rift is literally their oyster.
It belongs to them. Messages, the spot lane does not belong to you. They do spot Munchie is here, I believe. No, he's right outside of the vision.
I think he saw him before he walked back.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. Messages face checks existence, and they catch him out. Lays into damage. Wilting Lullaby will come in, lay in some more, and they get a brutal shutdown. A TP was used for that as well. Sion came to play and is looking to make his way into the mid lane.
Yeah, maybe they can make a play on this mid lane push that's coming through. They have still got Unstoppable Onslaught. Messages is actually sticking around for the turret in the bot lane. Deep lane, yep, you've got the right to do that. You're also fair. They're going anyway.
Yeah, they're charging in. They find the Nami to get a knock-up. A beautiful Cyclone to be able to stuff the efforts, but it's still Traffy getting the kill and duo Selena. It is Karma trading the kill back, and a beautiful play by Lucian is able to tad away. He pops the shots as needed. You collected an objective bounty in the bot side, but at what cost? There is a TP coming in from behind.
Oh, no.
Go ahead and rocket jump away if you please, but you're just into the waiting arms of existence as he gets himself a kill in the bot lane. Vengeance served.
Yeah, messages there. Window shopping, unfortunately, already had the plan in his pocket. Didn't recognize the TP coming behind. And until that, it was still a fairly good play for 3P. They trade turrets for 2 kills. When you're behind, you'll take that. But the TP comes down. They're able to then find the return kill onto messages. Just got a big chunk of gold in his back pocket. Unfortunately, not enough. And to say that we were concerned about how fast Traffy would go down, whether they had the tank shred capability, I think so far the 10k gold lead is largely supplementing that. They get this pick, it's Duo Selena, the target of the Sion damage, which, again, you take down the support, but at what cost? We see that Messages is nowhere near this fight, Munchie goes into stasis but gets taken down anyway, and the fact that Deep Lane is just flashing forward, you can tell the sort of unhinged style with which he wants to be playing with this game. A fed Lucian is not one that wants to sit back.
Look at that gold, man. Look at the damage dealt inside of that. That's huge. Lunar caught out of position. There's no amount of shifting that will be able to save you from this Cyclone. And it is Existent that finishes off the kill. They find 3 inside of the mid lane. And third party, they are getting knocked, they are swaying, and every time they get back up onto the map, AOE, Ginger Turmeric, they knock them right back down.
Yeah, it's like they are just bowling pins at the alley right now. They get knocked down, somebody comes around, picks them back up, and they just get smacked back down again. They've got the Rift Herald, they've got pre-20 minutes. They could well just look for the game.
They're looking for it right now. Messages is holding his rocket jump, has to use it. His HP bar has been melted. Here we go. One last fight. The hook shot coming in. They're going to be able to get the kill onto the Rakan. Just goes down, and same can be said for Munchie, as the rest of the team's HP bars are so low. They got the Herald off of the map. So we won't see that dancing, but it's still not done. They're still going for it. Why not? Existence got a hook shot on the mine. He's got a bomb ticking away, though. A shutdown comes in. Messages looking for a different angle to join into the fight. Laying in some damage onto the Nami. Traffy trying to be the front line for his team, but Deep Lord just trespasses past that. He is laying into damage on the Messages. Has the shields, has the peel. Is looking for more, but he does get dropped. Shutdown going over. Munchies rejoins the fray. The HP bars are not there to be the friend of AOE, and it is third party with a desperate defense of their base.
The double kill goes to just, there were so many bounties on claim, but it's just that gets them a little bit of a disaster, but they do hold their base. The Drake likely also going to be forfeit for AGT. The odds of them taking this one fairly low, particularly since Keel doesn't have a smite. He's going to stick around. He's going to see Bubble or Bowling Ball scouts him out.
Yep, Cyclone is available.
Oh no, never mind.
He's gone. Like, this is one Wukong you do not want to deal with. This is the one you have nightmares about. As Messages joins into the fray, he's able to TP in. He is here to be that janitorial service that his team needs. But check it out, Existence on the side. The headset ultimatum has been put out. And it's enough to finish off the jungler. They're not going to be able to finish this dragon, and Existence is too strong for you to be able to mess with. A double kill for this Camille. Deep Learn has now joined and looking to eviscerate the HP bar of Messages. The calling comes into full effect. True shot barrage doesn't hit its mark, and now it's just
open Nexus.
They just got dropped. They just respawned, but they have their sight set. They haven't changed. As Nexus is next up on the list.
Can they get it, though? It's Just and Luna, the bot lane for 3P, trying to defend. 3 members in the base.
An entrance coming in, laying in a good amount of CC, but this base is not going to be able to live for long. It's dropped down to half HP. They're trying to do what they can. Another crucial bubble lands, and it is just going to be the game. They're melting down the Nexus, and that is game to AOE Ginger Turmeric.
Oh, and it was a close one in the end. AGT really pushing themselves to the limits. You know, they didn't want Baron, they didn't want any of those traditional win conditions. We'll herald at 19 minutes, we'll take you both Nexus turrets, and we'll come back 3 minutes later to finish the job. From start to finish, beautiful stuff. We knew that this team was going to be gearing towards their bot lane, trying to play out from that. The fact that they got a winning top matchup as well was just cherry on the cake. They were able to dive that bot lane. Once it went a little bit rogue, but from there on in, it was all smooth sailing. Complete and utter domination for AGT's game 1.
Yeah, and a big part of it was this bot lane and the jungle, right? Heal and this bot lane had a target put down. They said, all right, just like the roam, yo, Ezreal, how you feeling right now? I'm gonna be there level 2. It was so rough, man. Like, how do you weather that? How do you survive that? And there was no answer for third party.
No, I mean, just look at the damage dealt here this game. It was all AGT. Literally every single role, I think. Yep, every single role. That mid lane is about as close as it gets. One of them was a AP Karma, you know, fair enough, decent amount of damage versus an AD carry in the mid lane. It's still just so beneficial that AGT are able to get beautiful damage from every single role. That gold lead apexing at about 12.1k. That was, I think, when they were hitting onto the Nexus turrets the first time round. But yeah, you know what? A great game from AOE Ginger Turmeric, and exactly what they want to start themselves off in this series.
I 100% agree. What a message sent from AGT here in this game. But you know what? This is still a series. This is a best of 3. Third party are going to look to answer back and see what they'll be able to do to get themselves back into the series. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll see if they have that answer.